President of the United States from accepting things that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national interest of this trip?
The goal of the trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what matters is, why are all these AI guys on this trip?
Have you heard of the emoluments?
This heated panel discussion puts Trump's foreign business dealings under the microscope, with Abby Phillip pressing Kevin O'Leary and Scott Jennings on whether presidential power and personal financial interests can really be separated. The argument gets even more intense when the Constitution's emoluments clause enters the debate. The panel also brings up major deals involving foreign governments, business interests, and the controversial $400 million plane from Qatar. That raises a much bigger question about whether these arrangements should be treated as normal business or viewed differently when the president is involved. Let's take a look at what happened in this interview, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
According to our reporting, some of the deals going on right now: Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers, Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal, Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
I mean this sincerely. I mean, does it bother you that this is happening at the same time that these nation states are also trying to curry favor with Trump himself?
Well, it doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president. We knew his family was in business. So I think the American people have full visibility into that. Number two.
But we're talking about new deals here, not existing
deals. Well, they're business people. They're cutting deals all the time.
You're okay with them cutting deals while Trump is sitting in the White House when he's going over there to negotiate with them?
Negotiations with
They're negotiating with every country in the world every day. Well, let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things you just mentioned, towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things.
Cryptocurrency and meme coins, Scott, don't forget those.
You do something, money exchanges hands, a service is provided, a tower is built, a golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that Hunter Biden provided for any money that changed hands?
I do think that is a fair critique of the Hunter Biden of it all. But you're not addressing the fact that in all of these countries, in order to do any of these things, they have to go to the political leadership of the countries to get them approved. That doesn't address that at all.
Abby, at 10:07, Scott was telling me how the biggest modern day conspiracy we've had in terms of a president scandal was Joe Biden and his health. And he said that, and then he criticized Chuck Schumer, right, about the fact that he didn't have any character because he didn't stand up to it. But at 10:27, 10:28, the argument has changed, because what we do know is that there is a $400 million jet from Qatar. What we do know is that there is a $5.5 million golf course in Qatar. What we do know is what Syria is offering Donald Trump. And what we do know is that the things that are happening in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, buying meme coins that mean absolutely nothing. The fact is, and I would love for Scott to be able to answer this question, but for the fact, and that's when I didn't really do well in law school, but I remember but for the fact Donald Trump is president of the United States, none of this would happen. And so that is what you call a kleptocracy. And so when you have children, and no, and 1 second, Kevin, because you wanted to talk about Kevin O'Leary, you wanted to talk about Kamala Harris being mediocre. Donald Trump Jr. and what's the other one? Eric are the definition of what mediocre is. And what I'm saying is that now they are reaping the benefits of their father.
Different direction?
Please.
Just for a moment, please.
No, guide me. I'm blind.
What does this have to do with Middle East policy? Please, just a moment.
Oh, no, please.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes,
what does this have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing geographies in the world before China does?
But wait a second.
Wait, let me finish.
On
this trip, I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. I'm locked in.
What does this have to do with policy?
The one thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time. They were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody
you want
that
to push these
you
countries away.
were saying that anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the fact?
Because it's
Wait a second.
You know what?
I don't get it. Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy
It's
of
not
the region?
irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Would you rather have the Chinese there? Would you rather have them there?
Kevin, the United States Constitution would like to have a word. The United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care, right?
People care
because
of
the
the
reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the President of the United States from accepting things
What's
that
the
are
goal
being
of the trip?
that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national
The
interest
goal of the
this
trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys
Have
on this
you
trip?
heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And do you understand that even if you think that maybe it might be okay,
how many fairies dance on a pin does not do policy.
Incredibly dubious.
So let me ask you a
realize
question.
That, right?
I'm sorry.
Let me just say, but Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're
I'm
talking
above
about.
that. I focus on
you're
policy.
so rich, you get to be above it. That's
It's nothing to do with wealth. It's policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. Whew. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government, that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have said, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do? And Scott, you're talking about these tangible things. Meme coins are not tangible. They're nothing. Cryptocurrency is nothing. There is a bidding war going on right now with governments and countries and companies. We have no idea what their alignments are to buy enough meme coins to buy access to our
There was a story tonight in the New York Times about a very mysterious company that bought hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Trump meme coins with links to China. So, there are some real questions and concerns about the money that is being made here.
The emoluments thing you raised, it's a good question. It's a legitimate debating point, and I assume it'll ultimately be tested in court. The administration has a point of view on it. I assume they're going to be sued, or I don't know how you would get it into court on this, but my assumption is ultimately the Supreme Court is the only people who can give us some arbitration on this, so I assume that's where it's headed.
And that's really the heart of the controversy. Can these massive foreign deals simply be dismissed as policy when the president and his business interests are involved? The discussion raises serious questions about accountability, conflicts of interest, and whether the same standards would be applied to a president from the other party. What makes this exchange especially interesting is how quickly the conversation moves from foreign policy to constitutional limits and presidential ethics. If these safeguards only matter when the other party is in power, then the entire debate over accountability becomes political theater. So what do you think? Was Abby Phillip right to keep pressing this issue? Or did Kevin O'Leary and Scott Jennings have the stronger argument?